Hey everybody, Jim Powers with NCAA.com as we wrap up our pre-tournament interviews from the Elite Eight. And these guys are in Evansville. They're ready to rock and roll in the quarterfinals. It's the crew from Lincoln Memorial and their head coach, Josh Schertz, and one of their outstanding student athletes, Alex Dahling. And first off, Coach, what a great season for you guys. It seems like the train just keeps rolling for Lincoln Memorial and another trip to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, it's obviously every team is special, and every time you get this far, it's an unbelievable honor, privilege to still be playing. But with everything that went into this year, there was obviously a lot more to deal with from uncertainty, and just the discipline these guys had to have. We came in on to the NCAA tournament off a 25-day layoff. And so I just think the mental toughness this group showed, the ability to overcome adversity, to stay connected. We had, a couple shutdowns in season, and look, everybody in the country really dealt with a lot of the same stuff. So it's not like it was particular to us, but I just think it was a great demonstration of the resilience and fortitude and persistence of not just LMU, but college athletes as a whole. What an incredibly special group to be able to do what they did, have a college basketball season in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. So this group and this season is one that I hope I never have to go through again, but I will never forget, obviously.
No doubt. And Alex, one of the questions, and this goes back to just the whole pandemic and, everything getting shut down last spring and then, just all the uncertainty. One of the things that I've learned from a lot of student athletes and some of the kids that I've talked to at the institution I work at here in St. Louis was they had to go old school with their training. For basketball players, it was finding a playground gym or a court, finding, a hoop in the driveway and different things along those lines. And they kind of went back to their roots and reestablished their love for the game, so to say, because they had to do that. Talk about your journey from last spring through the year. And was it one of those cases to where, yeah, you know what, I knew I loved basketball, but now I love basketball even more?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of us were stuck in that driveway with the hoop. I mean, I found myself in that position multiple times. It's tough to find a gym at home, the shutdowns and stuff. We were luckily fortunate enough to be able to come back to school and use our facilities for a couple weeks in the summer. So we were lucky to have that. But yeah, when I wasn't at school, it was tough to find gyms, and it really kind of, like you said, reestablished that love for the game, just going back like you were a little kid out there in the driveway playing with your brothers or your neighbors, that kind of stuff.
Coach, and I'm sure you saw that from the guys, and the coaches have even said that, this kind of got everybody back to, the old saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Well,
Yes.
we kind of lost basketball for a little while. And I'm sure as a coach, you kind of saw what these guys were able to figure out to do on their own throughout the summer.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like you said, a lot of times, you just took it, I don't know, take it for granted is the right word, but I think it just reinforced how lucky we all are to be able to do this, man, to be able to play and coach and be a part of, basketball and to, I think it just gave great perspective because you looked at, obviously the shutdown was devastating for everybody. And, we had a team that had won 32 games in a row going in and the seniors to end that way was crushing. But then when you took a bigger picture perspective in the grand scheme of things, there was people dealing with significantly worse situations. And when you looked at what was for the greater good, there was no question that the greater good, the shutdown was correct. Everybody, handled that right. And then you looked at kind of how the next few months went, it was unbelievably devastating. And for a lot of part, we didn't think we were going to have a season. And we were one of the few leagues to open up in November. But you look at these kids and again, just how resourceful they are, how ingenuitive they are, their love for the game. I think it just hammered home that there's a lot more important stuff in life than basketball. But man, are we lucky to be a part of basketball, be able to do this for a living. And I think it's a nice blend of, you're able to, have that comparison. And again, for our guys, I thought it was eye-opening for them in terms of, man, this is crushing for us, but look at what's going on in the world. And as we got in the summer and I just, the uncertainty. And I had, we had trouble as coaches, in our 40s and 50s, middle age. I can't imagine, 18 to 23-year-olds handling all that and then coming into school and doing what they've done. Like I said, I told them, in my 23 years in college coaching, and I wouldn't even, again, as for this team here at LMU, for my group, but certainly I think across college athletics, most impressive thing I've ever seen.
Well, the one thing is, and once again, last year, I mean, we were all getting ready to go. I mean, you guys were getting ready to go. I was getting ready to meet you all down in Atlanta, in Evansville first, and then the trip down to Atlanta, and everything gets shut down. Has that been kind of the motivating factor for the great year that you guys had this year? And Alex, we'll start with you. Just coming off the terrific year last year and then having it go away, but then got to refocus and say, okay, we want to do this again. We want to get back to the Elite Eight. Was that kind of the motivating factor for you guys?
Yeah, it definitely played a huge role in our success this season, just having that in the back of our minds. We came into the season a little complacent, I think, just knowing that we were that good. We thought we were going to, just carry on with that. But we realized quickly that, it's not the same team, and we're going to have to build our own story. And, this Elite Eight run and hoping for a national championship run, it's not really for this team. It's for those guys that didn't get to have that run last year, those seniors, guys that left. It's, it's for them really, more for us too.
And I watched the regional championships last week, and Coach, I think this is one of the deepest Elite Eight fields that we've seen in a while. You've been to a couple of them, but that was big boy basketball last week in the regional championships. I mean, when you look across the board at a lot of those games and the region you guys had to come through, once again, that's not an easy region that you guys had to traverse through. Talk a little bit about just coming off of the layoff at the end of the season and then having to turn around and play in that meat grinder regional that you guys have, in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think every year you come, you're just amazed at how hard it is. I think the thing that being here a few times allows you to do is recognize how difficult it is to get here. And it's kind of like, climbing a mountain. Every step gets more treacherous. And so, as you go up, man, you get this close to the pinnacle. It's the hardest steps are in front of you, right? So, but yeah, this region and these teams, and I went back and watched some of the. I would text him back and forth with Ben after his game. I told him he's the Rick Pitino at D2 now with his pressing there the last 2 minutes, but watch the end of that Northern State and Northwest Missouri game, which was one of the great games I've ever seen. And so I agree, unbelievable depth here. In terms of the quality, of opponents and everything. So you have to, I mean, again, there's just a great appreciation for how difficult it is to get here. You recognize that as you go through it. And every time you come, man, it's just hard. But our region, we were coming off, as we said, a 25-day layoff, unprecedented. We weren't able to play. And the team we opened up with and came back in against was a team that had just hammered us. Our last game, almost 4 weeks before in Tusculum. So you jump right back in. I think our region had, obviously 4 of the 6 teams were nationally ranked. I didn't think we played great against Tusculum. I thought we competed great, and we found a way to get the job done. We defended. We were tough. We were connected. We were together. Alex made 3 huge threes in a row in the second half to get us some separation. And man, we just fought tooth and nail. And I thought the game against Emmanuel, they had come in and beat a really good Queens team and number 1 seed in Belmont Abbey. And, that night I thought we played maybe as well as we played on both ends of the floor all year. It was great to see. Obviously it helps when your center makes 10 threes and you make 18 threes, but I thought we defended well. And the break or the reset or whatever you want to call it, the hiatus, I really think I didn't know how it would go, but it really helped us. I think it helped kind of refocus us. We had a really good run. We were 16-1. We had lost 2 straight. We had to shut down for 2 weeks. It wound up extending in because the conference tournament and then the break after the conference tournament into the NCAA tournament wound up almost being 4 weeks. But our guys just, again, the mental toughness and the ability to handle all the adversity and challenges and be adaptable. I mean, that's what's just so amazing to me. And we had two really big breaks, and you look at it, and one, we came off a big break in November and played Alabama Huntsville after a 20-day break and played maybe as good a game as we played all year. And then the second one going to the NCAA tournament. So I think from now on, I'm just going to schedule long 20-day breaks in between all. Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe that's what COVID taught me.
Everybody's kind of writing a new playbook, and that may be part of the playbook that you're going to write now with how to, how to figure
3 weeks off in between, like every game's like a bowl game for us, just play once every 3 weeks. We'll be fine.
Oh man, Alex, number one, I mean, for a big, you shoot the ball better than a lot of guards that I've seen play, but you also have a great supporting cast around you, and especially the guards that are out front. They have a knack for finding, getting you the ball, but that offense also gives you a lot of freedom to be able to step out beyond the arc and do some really cool stuff. Talk about that, and talk about the other guys that have really been a big impact in getting you guys here.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely play our best when we're playing as a team. We're not heavy isolation or anything, so kind of just everybody, breaking paint, getting the passes out to the three, spreading the floor. That's just kind of how our offense is, and it works well for us. As you can tell, put up 103 or whatever last week and shot the ball like 18 threes. So really just depends on we're looking for each other. We're not trying to force anything. We're trying to get the best shot for us. I mean, what else can I say? We're averaging 93. I mean, it's a great offense put together by a great coach. We just really depend on each other to make those right plays, and I feel like we're really hitting our stride right now.
You've got Alex sitting next to you, Coach, but like I said, you've got a couple guards out there that do just an outstanding job as well. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balanced team, like Alex said. I mean, Devin Whitfield obviously is one of the best players in the country. I think he'll, should be an All-American this year for us. Devin's just a phenomenal player, not only with his ability to score, but the efficiency. I think he's shooting 56% from the field and 43% from three. And so the numbers are through the roof. Obviously, Alex, Julius Brown, elite defender, Cameron Henry, who touches the game in so many areas. Jordan Guest, maybe the best shooting big man in the country, made 10 threes against Emmanuel, but shot about 46% from three. And then come off the bench, and Xavier Bledson led our league in assists as a sixth man, and did that in about 20 minutes a game, gives us, over 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game in a short period of time. And then Jeremiah Keene, I thought was in the NCAA tournament thus far, has been as valuable a player as we've had. His performances in both games off the bench have been huge for us. And look at our team. It's a balanced group. They lead the country in assists by a good margin. They share the ball, look for one another, like Alex said. It's a team where we've had maybe more talented teams here over the years in terms of just sheer individual skill. But this group is definitely one where the sum is greater than the individual parts. They play for each other. They play well together. They have a really high IQ, really skilled, and really with those 7 guys, they just complement each other at an exceptionally high level, really on both ends of the floor.
This Elite Eight, I think you could put all 8 teams in, and it really doesn't matter the seeding. It's that deep. It's that good. You guys are coming in. You get Colorado Mines. What have you had a chance to see, Coach, on film as you get ready for that quarterfinal matchup against them? Once again, another outstanding team that came through a really, really tough regional last week.
Yeah, and really blew through it. When you look at their results, I mean, difficult region, and I think they won their final by 30 some or whatever. So outstanding team. I think, their program, if you follow Division II, this year, I think they've been number 1 more weeks than anybody else in Division. Yeah. They are consistently, this is not an anomaly for them. They are consistently at the top of the country, the region, competing for Elite Eights. We were in Sioux Falls together back in 2017. Coach does a great job. I think when you watch them play, you just think of how sound they are, how fundamental they are, how well they play together. They don't beat themselves. They don't turn the ball over. They don't foul. They don't take bad shots. They play a little bit unique relative to modern basketball in terms of how often they post up and the pace of play, but they keep it at their pace. They really take care of the ball. They force you to guard the entire shot clock. They have really good players put them in good situations. They're not predictable. They run a motion offense that's, read and react. And they have guys that are really skilled, really high IQ, very similar to our guys in terms of their ability to play offensively without having to coach them too much and just kind of rely on their skill and intelligence. Defensively, lead the league and block shots. They're terrific defensively. So we're going to have to play really well. There's no doubt they are as sound on both sides of the ball as any team in the tournament. They're not going to beat themselves. So we're going to have to come out and make plays and play, our best game of the season to give ourselves a chance to have success tomorrow afternoon.
No doubt about it. Well, Alex, final message for the Rail Splitter Nation as you guys get ready, to compete this week for a national championship.
We're going to give it everything we got to make that run for the national championship. We got that, not really even a chip. I feel like we have a boulder on our shoulder not getting to play last year. So we feel like we owe it to ourselves and everybody else to make this run and try and win a national championship.
Coach, same thing. What's the message for Rail Splitter Nation?
Just thank you. Their support and everything they do, their enthusiasm, passion is unmatched. I mean, there's a lot of great places in Division II, but there's none better than our fans in Rail Splitter Nation. And our guys are going to go out, like Alex said, lay it on the line, and we'll see where the chips fall, but we'll give it everything we have. And I told them, there's no group I'd rather be going to battle with than the guys in that locker room, and there's no fan base better than ours in Splitter Nation. So we appreciate everything. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. It should be a whale of a game, here, first game of the deal here at noon. So we're excited.
Well, once again, I wish I could be there with you guys in person this year, but obviously with all the protocols and everything, I'll be, back here in St. Louis watching everything and talking to everybody after the games. But we wish you the best of luck. It's been great watching you guys play this year, and real excited to get things thrown up in the air tomorrow and have a little bit of fun playing basketball at the Ford Center.
Sounds like a plan. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Head coach Josh Schertz and one of their outstanding student athletes, Alex Dahling from Lincoln Memorial. They take on Colorado Mines in the quarterfinals at the Elite Eight down at the Ford Center. You'll be able to watch all the action on NCAA.com in the quarterfinals. It's going to be a great day of basketball on Wednesday. Looking forward to seeing some outstanding basketball from our great student athletes in Division II. For Coach and Alex, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks for checking us out here on NCAA.com. A lot of basketball coming up this week. We'll be talking to you after all the games.